Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unarmored Talk podcast, where we will have real life conversations that helps you develop an accurate way of thinking. The way we're going to do this is by gaining a better understanding of how emotions, feelings, and thoughts can influence the outcome of a personal or professional challenge. I'm your host, Mario P. Fields, and today's guest is Christopher Manning, United States Marine Corps retired. He's also a new global inspirational speaker. With the team here, very unique team. Christopher, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, sir, Mario, Sergeant Major Extraordinaire. I appreciate it. Please, Chris. It's not used to hearing Christopher all that often, except when you're in trouble, what do you always hear?
Right.
Your entire full name.
Yeah, Chris. Well, thank you again, and thanks for taking time out of your schedule to come on the show. So, hey, tell the listeners and viewers a little bit about yourself.
All right, United States Marine Corps, retired 24 plus years in, and I had to add an extra day in there for all the administrative folks in case of any administrative errors. But global operational and deployed, toured around the world roughly about 11 times by the time I retired. Spent a lot of time on the roads. So operationally, focusing in one direction. While supporting the rest of the forces across.
Nice. Wow. What an amazing, well, thanks for your service. I'm a veteran. I know you're a veteran, retired veterans, but I got to tell you, thank you. So, hey, let's jump right into the topic. Recently, from my understanding, you were diagnosed with TBI, traumatic brain injury, which is a very severe injury to the brain. But this journey, if you will, kind of started in 1998 when you fell off of a military truck, a 5-ton, and maybe 10 plus feet, and hit your head on concrete. So let's talk about how that injury kind of was the catalyst to now it's 2021, and now you have this diagnosis.
I appreciate it, but first, I'd like to go back. Likewise, Mario, thank you for your service as well. I know we chewed some same dirt and dust and sand and everything all over the place. It's two different pillars. But going back, TBI back in the mid '90s, mid to late '90s. We really didn't think about it entirely too much. Because during those times, heck, I was a young sergeant. I was out there supporting the MU, getting everything out on the roads,
right?
Doing the final checks and everything before these guys all departed as they're all getting their briefings prior to going. But absolutely, heck, we're on a tight time schedule. Nothing's going to stop it. We got to get everything out. And it's crack of dawn in the early mornings. I had the reins and everything prior to and. Up there checking everything to make sure it's in there, and it's I had a strap brake, while we're up there, and I'm tugging. So, going back to trying to keep my balance on a slippery surface, up on the backs of the trucks. Heck, it's thing breaks, you end up slipping. When I fell back down onto the pavement. Middle to upper portion of my back, ended up smacking my head off the concrete. So I'm just laying there thinking, really, did this just really happen?
Right.
Especially during these times, and you see everything start to spin around and a little bit here and there, and so I'm just looking and staring up into outer space, if you will, and it's. Then I jump back up. It's like, man, that hurt. It's I gotta get back to it. I gotta get these guys on the road because I'm not going to be the one to make sure that they miss the boats.
Right.
So that was kind of the start of it. And I go back and it's like, heck, took you so long to double checking gear. It's like, I fell and just went back, man. I made sure I double checked everything. So I had to do a little bit of restrapping. And it's, you all right? Yeah, I'm good. And of course, just looking on the outside, okay, hey, I'm the strong, tough guy, and trying to make sure I'm out there, the sergeant, can't let any signs of weakness or anything show, and just continue to move on. My head started pounding afterwards, and my eyes are kind of squinting. Morning sun's coming up, light sensitivity and everything. I was, man, that hurt.
So and you started to mention you're starting to notice some changes. You like you said before, you had the head injury. Waking up in the morning and watching the sunrise and was not an issue. Now, it's things are starting to occur that are not normal. What started to go through your mind when you started to become aware of these changes?
I didn't think about it much then. Because of course, mission operations gotta get everything out and going. And it's later on in life was whenever I started to really kind of think a little bit. But that was a couple years down the line.
And why would you say, Chris, that the reason why later in life that you started to think about it, would you say is because of the effects it had on you? Or would you say that your thought process became more refined over the years?
I'd say honestly, thought process, is what really started to sink in first. As we get older, and start to, as lack of better terms, start to mature more, and and get moving in life. There are signs that are starting to come out. That were starting to come out. And kind of going through a little bit of this is speech. My speech was not clean, clear, and crisp. And this really didn't resonate until later on. Until recently, when things started to I wouldn't say transpire, but when all the cards were fully exposed. So issues what you run into, generally repetitive headaches, dizziness. It can be not only from loss of consciousness, like what we're used to hearing more now. Since the Iraq and Afghanistan with all the IDs. Tinnitus, the constant ringing in the ears, constantly trying to listen to different noises, or whatever to make sure that you drown it out. Light sensitivity, recently that's when was another telltale sign, that I found out whenever the doctors were finally starting to ask me the different questions. Mm-hmm. Concentration and memory. There was times when we would kind of start to drift in and drift out a little bit, and start to just try to certain things when will really cue us in to where we'll hunker down and, as we say, get laser focused on something. Or you start to lose a little bit of interest with things here and there.
And you mentioned, if I may, Chris, you mentioned one of the first indicators was your speech wasn't clear or concise. So let's talk about that real fast. Were you having issues constructing words or your thoughts and then communicating them, or was it where you thought that you were communicating in a clear and concise way and it was confusing, people on the other end?
It's more or less people on the other end.
Okay.
So once you start to go through, you start to repeat words. You have a little bit of a hard time getting some of them out, and it's where you start to stutter a little bit. Then different people have different ways of counteracting this. So you start to talk faster. You're trying to rush through it to compensate for any type of stammer, stutter, anything. And this is something that really started to come out after the second time, that I banged my head, and it's another spill down south, whenever I was supporting operations again in 1999. So that's round two. And round two, was a little bit harder than the first one, because multiple concussions, whenever you fall. So the speech really started to trouble me then. So I'm talking to the company, the commanders and everybody, to where they're starting to get a little bit irritated and aggravated. Come on, man, spit it out, say it.
I was going to get to that. Is what were the behaviors that made you realize, hey, something has changed? There's a departure from the norm.
Yes, and that's exactly it. Because prior to everything, I'm very quick, sharp, and concise with the words and what I'm going to say, because there's other things going on. Yeah, I don't like to spend time briefing if I don't have to, and especially if we got something going on. Yeah, it's my mentality then is, all right, hey, if you want to know something, let me know early. I'll construct something for you. I'll put it on your desk. You read it. I got work to do. Yeah, let me get back to it. I need to make sure everything's tightened down, button hatches, however you want to put it. Right. Make sure that we're all on schedule.
And any
time's critical.
It's so real fast. Any family members, right? So we talked about the Marines and you're always at work, but you go home too, right? So any family members go, hey, dad, right? Hey, babe, or whatever. Hey, we ought to chat.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad you brought this up, because let me hit this one point real quick, and I'm going to lead right into that. So when you go through, I kind of dissected it a little bit. So going through, there was a total of 6 times that I ended up with the concussion over my 24 years. And then a lot of family members, I say the close friends were the ones that that really had the courage, if you will, to ask.
Right.
Because as we're discussing, and there's like, man, what happened to your speech?
Right.
It seems like you've got a hard time talking anymore, or you have a hard time getting your thoughts out. And this all kind of goes into the internal wires inside of your head. Yeah, so my best friend's actually the one that really brought this up, and then together with him and his girlfriend, we're all kind of discussing this one of the times between jam sessions, and it's this was all at the same time when I started getting evaluated for the diagnosis, because Tim asked, and then my wife was asking as well, because we started to discuss all this during meetings whenever I'm talking to the people about the PTSD.
Right.
Yeah. So this is where it really starts to resonate. So, and this is all and why I bring all this together, because this was all within 30-day time frame. That we're all discussing this. So sitting in together, with the professionals, discussing the different things, symptoms and everything with PTSD, and then as we're talking, I'm, different stressors come out to, and that's where you start to remember the events, start to repeat, stutter, stammer, whichever way you want to bring it up. And then, I mentioned that I started really running into speech issues in 2001, 2002. And, then it's, wait, hold on. I thought that this was just how you are. I said, no, I was never like this.
So Let's talk about that. So what emotions? And we haven't talked about your emotions yet, but let's dive in. It's unarmored talk, right?
No,
Emotions, feelings, and thoughts. And let's go into emotions.
yeah, no, armor's left upstairs.
So what emotions that you feel when you started to realize that this young man, right, who was articulate and can communicate orders and and information quickly and well without much thought, now all of a sudden you think you're doing it, but everyone else who's listening to you are going, what are you doing? What's going on? Whatever. But what emotions that you feel or experience when you started to realize that the degradation in your ability to speak?
No, emotionally, there's a couple that go in there, with the mix. One's frustration. No, that I would put the first and foremost. Frustration, knowing you can do it, but it's not coming out right. No, next is anger.
Mm,
Anger in yourself, shortness of temper. Yeah, and this is where we all started, where I'm starting to bring in about the different moods and everything, and mood swings with it. So those are probably the two biggest ones. And then I'm going to bring in a different, interesting piece to this. Is there's actually a study out there, about that ties in to a lot of us. Yeah, it's called the family systems theory. To where we're part of a family environment. Habit, military, personal family. Or any other type of social environment. To where you start to grow and change, and then comes in the denials of being accepted from either side. But this is where, as personalities start to shift and change, to where one side gets angry and upset.
right.
So this is a whole nother piece that kind of gets brought into it. To where recently, in discussions, to where I came across this, so fear, that's another piece that I can tie into this. Is the fear of someone thinking that you're not intelligent where you're at, to where your intelligence is insulted because you can't convey your thoughts correctly. And then just articulating the messages that you want when you want, at the time that you want. So we can write, as we're writing, different reviews, awards, and everything. To where a couple of times, to where I was asked, "Did you write this?" Yes, I did. I didn't know you were that smart. Yeah, and it's well,
Right.
you say, well, thank you, sir. And I appreciate it. And I call everybody sir and ma'am anyway. But it's there's a lot of different emotions that that go into play with this.
Right. And how did you, so you've, and thank you for sharing, you're frustrated, you were afraid, you experienced anger, and those emotions influenced your behavior. But how did you think, right? How did you think through those emotions to where you are today, right? How did what talk to us about what effort in the thought process did you do to get you to accept your emotions and then to change your behavior within your capability?
Well, you almost have to look at it as a challenge, because it is definitely a challenge, and this is sad to say, a lifelong challenge that that you have to learn to endure, how to adjust, and how to work with. And with all that being said, is that's the only way that you can truly start to overcome this. So you go back into an old 1600 1800 methodology. It's a mental concept. Dying before going into battle. So this methodology I take into everyday life as well. Is if you get through if you get through a factor of especially prior to going to Iraq and Afghanistan, is a fear of dying. To where if you get over that concept, then it's going to clear your mind for what you need to do,
Right.
and different challenges that you need to accomplish. And this is where I start to try to forego different thoughts and feelings, so I can press forward. Second piece that I look at is, it's not about what I want to live for. As you know, everybody wants to live to see this day, when it wants to live to continue on to see and to do what you want to do. But the question that I'll ask is, I understand what you're willing to live for, but what are you willing to die for? Is it your legacy? Is it your thoughts? The passage. The challenges that you have in life. Because all in all, if you wear armor, and say this is Unarmored Talk, if you're wearing armor and it's all bling bling shiny, my challenge to you is that you've never been tested. You've never been hardened, because you're not facing the challenges that you have, and to try to overcome them.
Yeah, and I like how you took the approach of, okay, I'm not going to have this emotional reaction to my degradation and ability to speak. What I'm going to do is I'm going to formulate this framework of a challenge. And now what I'm going to do, and that's, and I love how you develop your thought process as I'm going to put effort to make it a challenge. And now what do we do with challenges, right? We put effort, time, energy to overcome those challenges, which, we can see today that obviously it's working for you. And it's just amazing how, again, it's amazing how you didn't just allow your emotions of anger and fear to dictate, your future progression, and with your relationships with your professional colleagues and your family. So is there, there's a lot of service members and people in general that either have been diagnosed with TBI or don't even know they have it. So what advice could you leave our listeners and viewers as you reflect on your journey to today?
Well, a lot of the different issues that I see out there with this is that, if there's problems and if there's issues, you need to get checked. If there are changes out there, and I said, set the armor aside for a little bit, because this has long-term effects.
Right.
And it's almost a life framework that you need to be set up to fight in the battle. So it's the acceptance, not only in society but within yourself. As far as having the difficulty, being willing to face it. I say, when we always train, we always teach, we always fight. We're forever a student, but this is our way of life. This is a part that you need to make part of your life, to be able to continue on. Martial culture, being coming from the military, that's great, but are you looking to fight the fight your entire life? No, or by getting checked early? Are you accepting a battle that you just won internally to yourself, to your family, to your loved ones, friends, and everybody, the fight that you didn't have to fight? Don't be the one that that is trying, late in life, to really diagnose and see, the issues that we have with this.
Right.
One piece that I have that with it is, as I said, flip the page here to make sure that I don't mess this up. All right, when you look at it, all right, our name is our own. We borrowed it from our ancestors. We have to return it unstained. My honor is not my own. It's borrowed from our descendants. We must return it unbroken. Our blood is not our own. It is a gift to generations that we have unborn, and we should carry it with responsibility.
Yeah, that's you're about to make me stand up and be 5'3". No, again, I appreciate it, Chris. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Chris. I mean, he said a lot of great things, but the couple of things I would like to highlight is that acceptance. Accept feedback from folks, right? People who you respect, maybe people you don't even respect, but be accepting to feedback, and then accept that you may not be, something may have changed. And and for you to highlight that is start off with accepting that you may not be the same person, and then second, to start to think through the process to get help is just amazing. If the viewers and listeners wanted to find Christopher Manning, please tell us, how can we find you? How can we locate Christopher Manning? I see some guitars, I see musical instruments. I see I think your lovely bride. I already know who she is. I see her back there with the microphone. How can we find Christopher Manning?
Right. I'm on LinkedIn. That's where I'm at daily. Networking professionally. Right. I'm on Manning Hombu Dojo. As I'm a martial artist as well. That's my professional network there. That's the two main sites that I operate on. By all means, reach out. There's a lot more that goes, that's involved in together with this whole process with the TBI and a few other items as well.
No, thanks. And ladies and gentlemen, coming soon, he'll also be on the landing page of Global Inspirational Speakers as one of our dynamic and unique inspirational speakers within the Bureau. So Speakers Bureau. So I appreciate that, Chris Manning. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you guys can watch this live right at the YouTube channel, Mario P. Field /YouTube. You can also go on Apple Podcasts and download the audio. I always ask that you leave a review, rate us and review us. 5 is always great, but always leave some feedback so we can make it better. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.